God is God of purpose. God is God of purpose, and He does everything with purpose. He created you with purpose. And everything He prepared for you for a purpose. Our God is God of purpose. What we need to do and what we need to work on is always to try and discover the purpose of God on my journey. The moment you discover and you know the purpose of God on your journey of your life, this will help you to come out of the present pain. The moment you discover the purpose of God in your journey, in your present life, discovering God's purpose for what you have, what you are passing through, that knowledge only, it is a power that helps you to come out from the present pain, the pain that is present. People are suffering with the present pain because of lack of knowledge of the purpose of God on their life. Because present pain has a language, and present pain is a mystery. For you to understand the language of your present pain, you need to consult God's purpose. God's purpose interprets well a present pain. And the moment you discover God's purpose, what you discover is the interpretation of your present pain. When your present pain is well interpreted to yourself, this will help you how to overcome your present pain. So this is why we need, all of us, every day and every moment, your journey must always make an effort to discover God's purpose for you, because God is God of purpose. Hallelujah. God is God of purpose. Therefore, never come surrounding people for what you will get from them, but come surrounding people because of what you will give them. Never come surrounding a place because of what you want to get from the place. Never come surrounding people because of what you want to get from them. Because when you come surrounding people or surrounding a place because of what you want to get from the place, because of what you want to get from people, this kind of life, this kind of present life is a decision make of a style, of a journey that lead people into slavery. This kind of life, when you come surrounding people because of what you want to get from them, it is a self-decision of a journey that leads you into bondage. Now I want you to understand something here very carefully, because people, they don't know your present pain. Why? Why the present pain? Your present pain, it's not going to be interpreted unless the interpreter is with you. And the interpreter of the present pain is the discovering of the knowledge of the purpose of God for you on your present time. That's why we say it's not good for a man, for a human being, never start dreaming that kind of life where you want to go surrounding people simply because of what you want to get from them. Never come surrounding a place simply because of what you want to get from the place. Because this kind of decision, it is simply a decision by yourself that choose a journey. And this kind of journey is a journey that leads people into slavery. This kind of journey is the journey that leads people into the bondage. You may not know by the beginning, but unless they interpret you the present manifestation by the purpose of God. In the beginning, you will be happy to get from people. But what is the purpose of God? What is the purpose of God? Why God sent you in that place? Have you discovered the purpose of God for you to be in that place? Have you discovered the purpose of God for you to be surrounding those people? Discovering the purpose of God is an interpretation of the meaning why I am connected to the place. Because Israel, we need to take the image of Israel, and when we take the image of Israel, we don't talk about Israel physically, we talk about spiritual Israel, as we are spiritual Israel. Israel, it was a certain season, a certain moment. Israel, they leave their country, they leave their place into Egypt. They migrate themselves into the place. They come in Egypt as a place, not for them to give to Egypt, not for them to supply to Egypt, but they come in Egypt just because of what they will get from Egypt. Israel come to Egypt surrounding the Egyptian, not because of what Israel want to give, but simply because of what Israel want to get from the Egyptian. We need to understand something, that there is a characteristic of life that we need to understand here on earth. Is a characteristic of life where we must discover the purpose of God in our present situation. God is God of purpose, and He do everything with purpose. If you fail to discover the purpose of God, you may choose the things that will be a decision of lifestyle that leaded you into slavery, into a bondage. So that's why we give this strategy of Israel, this life of Israel. Israel come out of his place into Egypt simply because of what he want to get from Egypt, simply because of what he want to get from Egyptian. And this kind of decision of life, it was a journey for Israel to become one day a slave. It was a journey into the bondage. That's why I say, never come surrounding people putting in your mind that I'm going surrounding people because of what I want to get from them. Is not a life of a present believer. Never come surrounding place because of what you want to get from the place. No. But go and come surrounding people because of what you want to supply to them. Come surrounding people because of what you have to give them. That kind of mind or that kind of life is a decision of self that produces a journey into the promised land. Can you understand that? The moment you come around people for the purpose of giving what you have, for a purpose of supplying what you are, that decision is a journey which have a destination, the promised land. Is a decision which has a destination, the blessing. Most of suffering today, we are suffering even in our own country, even in our own land, because we want to get from the land. We don't want to supply to the land. We want to get from the people. We don't want to supply to the people. Yet God created you with a purpose. The moment you discover a purpose of God, God creates you a supplier, not a receiver. The moment you go and you come surrounding a place, even if it's your land, even if I'm a citizen, that's why you see, the moment I'm a citizen, I always think to receive from what the land produce, to receive from what the government produce. This becomes the journey into slavery and a bondage of my government. We become bondage. We are bound by our government, not because our government is strong, because we are living a life where we depend on the government to supply, not on me to supply to the government. That kind of life make our nations slave, because it's a decision of a journey to slavery. Those have understand that I'm in this place, my land or not my land, I'm in the place to supply to the place. I'm surrounding the people to supply to the people. That decision, you may be a foreigner or a owner of the land. If you have that kind of decision, you have decided a journey into the blessing. You will be blessed even if you are far away from your own land. Never come surround people based on what you want to get from them, but come surrounding people based on what you want to supply them. That kind of life is a life of deliver, people who have been delivered. Israel, he come to Egypt because he want bread, food, to get only from Egyptian. And this, they didn't know it was a decision from themselves, which was a journey one day they found themselves slaves in Egypt. Not because Egyptians want them to become slaves. It is the inner decision. You can make yourself a slave even to your own government. You can make yourself a slave even to your own people. You can make yourself a slave even to your own community. You can make yourself a slave even to your own family, based on what you think that you are there for them to help you. No, the moment you come out of that area, we call it a deliverance of knowledge. You must know you were born in that family, not for the family to supply. We have today parents who give children, and in their mind they will put in their mind that my children are going to build for me a house. My children, they are going to give me food. My children, they are going to buy me a car. My children, everything of destiny he put on the you get the children for you to receive from them, not for you to supply for them. What kind of life is that? And you become a slave. Is a journey into the bondage of your children. Is a journey to the slavery of your children. You need to change your mind now, that if you are coming surround your children and you are there to supply. You are there to supply. You are not there only to get. I have to supply to my children. I have to supply to my grandchildren. I am a supplier. That kind of decision, when you make it surrounding your children, is a journey into the promised land, into the blessed. You will be a father, you will be a mother, a blessed mother to your children. You will be a blessed father to your grandchildren. People, there is a mystery. What will make you a wrong grandfather, a wrong grandmother, is the idea you carry now. My children, they will do for me this, I will get from this. In that kind of journey you are decide is a journey into slavery, where you come surrounding people just because of what you want to get from them. A kind of life is a life of bondage. You need to change your mind now. I'm coming surround my children because I am a supplier. You start thinking, how can you supply to your grandchildren while they are not there? I'm going to supply. And that kind of decision is a journey you are making into your success. You will be a blessed grandmother, a blessed grandfather to your grandchildren, not because of the present moment, because of the purpose that you discovered before. God make me a grandfather to my grandchildren because I have to supply the blessing I carry, not for me to get from them. Is a life of God people. God created you by purpose, with purpose, and that purpose is you are a supplier. The moment you come out of that life of supplying, you make yourself a slave. You make a slave in the bondage. So this is the life we're talking. But you will check that Israel, when he come in, that's why we take that example. Israel, when he came in Egypt, his purpose in the beginning, it was not to go to supply something to Egypt. You don't supply only money. You can supply your wisdom. You can supply your time. You can supply your counseling. You can supply your laughing. You can supply your goodness. You can supply your passion. You can supply your forgiveness. I'm going to meet this. I'm coming to people. I have to supply what I have. And it's by supplying what you have that you are going to become a blessed person in that place. A blessed person to those people. But when you go with the mind that you don't have anything to supply, what you have is to get from them. Don't be surprised after sometimes you become, and those people become a bondage to you, or you become a bondage to them, because it will be a journey into your slavery. Any relationship you get, is a wife, is a husband, don't put in your mind, I received this man just for me to receive. One day, don't be surprised for you to be a slave of that man. Never surprise yourself for you to be a slave of that lady. Because from the beginning of your journey, you marry that woman because in your mind, I will going to get something from her. You are not going with the mind to say, I'm going to supply the small I have. We don't supply only when we have food. We supply the little we have. There is a small child in the in the bedside place. The Bible says this small young man has only 2 fish and 5 loaves. Is supply. Is supply. We don't supply only when it's too much. Supply the little you have. The multiplication is not for you. The multiplication is for the Lord. I supply the little I have, the Lord will multiply it. Can you see that? You have something. When you want to get married to your husband, you must go with that kind of knowledge. We call it a knowledge of deliverance. You enter in the marriage with deliverance. When you enter in the marriage of the knowledge of saying, I'm going to get from him, you are entering with the knowledge of bondage, slavery. Then you will be surprised later, 5 years, 10 years after, you start to realize that it seems like I'm bounded, I'm a slave with that man, to that man. This lady starts make me a slave. You will realize later, not in the beginning. And what make you a slave? I want to make you wisely today. It was not the lady make you a slave. It is not the man make you. No one has power to make you a slave. Your decision, because you didn't realize the purpose of God in your present time. Why God allowed you to get married? The purpose. Because I have to go and supply. When you discover the purpose of God, you enter in the place, you come surrounding people as a blessing. And the journey is to the blessing. So, you will realize that this Israel, in the beginning, their mind was to get food in Egypt. We were going there to eat. Egypt must supply. Egyptian must bless us. They don't mind them to do anything. Then later, after 400 years, they realize that they are slaves in the bondage of Egyptian. Not because Egyptian they choose, simply because they choose themselves the journey, the destination of their own journey. So today's topic, I name it Your Journey. I want you to start thinking on your journey, my journey. Sit one day, you say, my journey on earth, my journey here on earth. Every journey has different stations. When you take a train here to Pretoria until you reach Joburg, you will find many stations, and all the stations are not the same. Every station has its own character, its own color. When you move here to Cape Town, you will find many stations, but you are in the journey to Cape Town. So when you realize your journey, my journey, the moment you start learning your journey, you will end up start discover stations of your journey. And those stations are also people that you meet on your life journey. There are people you meet, those people are stations. There are things you meet, that those things are stations. There are circumstances you meet, those circumstances are stations. And all the station has a purpose. God cannot send you in the journey without a purpose. When you discover the purpose of the journey of you that God give you, you are going to discover every purpose of every stations. In every station there is a purpose. And which purpose? How can you react to the purpose? How can you react to that station? It's not permanent. Train cannot stop for a station permanently. If it's a train going to Cape Town, it stopped to a station for a minute. So there is a problem that come to you are not coming for permanent. It's just a station where you need to be wise. Don't realize all your life, all your journey on the station. One station is not a destiny. We abuse our journey based on little stations. That is coming for what? 2 seconds. Then you take the whole journey to Cape Town. You stop it on just 3 kilometers. Can you see that? When you discover the purpose, you will know that my journey has many stations, and I cannot abuse the whole journey based on one. There are things that are coming for a little time, they go. How can I behave when situation come? When you were born, this problem was not there. You get it now. Can you see? After some kilometers, you come to find this problem now. Is a situation, is a stations. You are going to pass that station. The moment you pass that station, you are going to see another color, another session. So don't try to kill your whole life based on the circumstances you found on the station. It's a session. Another session, you found people can insult you, accuse you, and do whatever they do. If you know the purpose, you are there to supply. Understand the station, monitor the time until it passes, and you will carry on. If you don't know how to react to yourself based on the station of your journey, this is how you destroy your own journey. Even you change your destination according to the purpose of God. You start going on the wrong destination based on the decision that you take. Hallelujah. So we are not allowed to take a decision if we are not understand the purpose of God on our journey. Now, when Israel was coming out of the Egypt, the Bible said they were delivered, like we explained last week. They come out of Egypt, they come into the desert. The coming of the desert as a delivered people. It was not now for desert to bless them, to give them. It was for them to give in the desert. Can you understand that? So it was for Israel to give in the desert, not for Israel to receive in the desert. So that's why the Bible says, you will be delivered. I come to deliver you from Egyptian, and you may go in the desert to worship God. In other words, to give. In the desert, the journey on the desert, it was a delivered person is a giver. When he came out of the Egypt, he was delivered. So that in the desert, he was not going with the mind of receiving. He's going in the desert in the mind of giving. Can you understand out there? And when you go in the desert of the mind of giving, that kind of decision of giving for the purpose of God, that giving, we call it worship. Can you understand that? That's why you will understand that the purpose of God was deliver you. God make you in the journey so that you may be a true worshiper. And true worshiper must be delivered first from ignorance. Ignorance is a bondage. The first bondage is ignorance. So you need to come out of ignorance for you to enjoy your life. The moment you are not wake up in your mind, then you live what we call ignorance. Ignorance is what kill you and kill people. But Israel, moving from the desert, from Egypt, it was a delivered people. And God is saying, as a delivered people, in the desert, you are going to give, not to receive from the desert, but to give to the desert. And when you give in the desert, you will be called worshiper. And in the desert, Israel has to give to God offering and everything he received, everything he had. And the moment you become a giver, that decision of coming into the place to give to the place, that decision of coming to the people to give is a decision that make your journey the journey into the promised land. Can you understand out there? The journey into the blessing is a decision. And that decision is when you understand that I'm called to meet people around me, I must supply something. Don't go with that mind of receiving. It look good like you are going to be rich, but you're going to make yourself poor, more poor. We say today, hey, these people, white, whatever color we call them, they are blessed. Do you know why? They don't have mind of receiving. They have mind of supplying. It's not because they are praying too much. It's not because they are working too much. It's a principle of the decision of which journey you want to take. There is a journey into slavery. There is a journey into your promise. The journey into your promise, you need to come out of your absent mind. Understand that what is the purpose of God for me? He created me to supply. I have something to supply. Even if you meet if you meet the millionaire people, you are there. Don't call yourself, I have nothing. No, you have something to give them. You have something that they don't have. You have something you can give to them, and they will appreciate it. Your time. Most of millionaire people, they don't have time. You have time. You can give them your time. You can give them your counseling. You can give them your passion. You have something to give them. The moment you go with that baggage of giving in the midst of others, is from that knowledge you have already blessed yourself. You have already blessed yourself. So every project you have, every program you have, what are you thinking? All we think is to receive from people. That's what you call blessing. And yet, this is a bondage. This is a slave. This is a poverty. The Bible says there is more blessing in giving than in receiving. That is the Bible says. The hand that gives is the hand that is blessed. So the hand that receives make himself poor. The hand that gives make himself rich. Is the journey to the prosperity. Decision to come surrounding people for you to give is a decision you decide to become a greater man, a greater woman. If you want to become a greater woman, you have a decision to give. When you come in your church, you are not coming the church to receive only. You must be a member of the church, and in your mind you say, I want to be prosper in my church. I must be a giver. You can give your time. You can give your there is many things you can give in the house of God. Where pastor come 10 o'clock to church, you can come 7 o'clock. It's a sacrifices. And you can do what this man of God could not do. We are not doing in the church of God only. In the church of God, we are not receiving only preaching. In the church of God, we receive as many as provision it is. The moment we sit in our chair here, the person who wiped my chair, he has supplied to me. Is a blessing. The moment I go to the toilet, the person who cleaned the toilet for me is already give something to me. Can you see that? Life of giving. But the moment you come out of that mind, you start receiving. Any department you put those things, this is how you make yourself delay and be poor. So, Israel in Egypt, in the desert, they were there to give, not to receive. And the moment you are decided to give, this kind of decision of giving is a decision of destiny or journey to the destination of the promised land, of the blessing. If you refuse to do that, this is where problem come, situation come. Remember, Israel in the desert, they forgot the purpose of why they were delivered. A deliverer person, when he forgot his mandate, when you're already delivered, this is the point I want you to get it very well. Because this is the things that many believers, many Christians, they ask questions, they are confused. I'm delivered, I'm already delivered. But the moment after being delivered, I see like my problem become worse before I get delivered. When I was not delivered, my problem was better. But after being delivered, I see I'm become more in trouble, as if I'm more in a bondage. Yes, when you are delivered and you don't walk accordingly to the status of deliverance, you will face challenges that you will interpret the pain of after being delivered. The pain of after being delivered will become more painful than the pain when you were in the bondage. The pain of the desert will become more stronger to you than the pain of Egypt. Why? Not because the pain of when you don't understand the station of your journey after being delivered, you will interpret those pain wrongly, and you will see it very painful than the previous pain when you were not delivered. I will try to explain in our language and take some example so that we can try to understand why the pain of the desert after being delivered seems to look more painful than the pain when I was in Egypt. Let's read Exodus 14, 11, 12.
Exodus chapter 14, verse 11.
Yes?
Then they said to
Because
Moses, there were no graves in Egypt,
because there were no graves in Egypt,
have you taken us away to die
have you taken us away to die
in the wilderness?
in this wilderness?
Why have you so dealt with us?
Why have you so dealt with us?
To bring us out of Egypt.
To bring us out of Egypt.
Is this not the word that we told you in Egypt, saying,
This is what we told you in Egypt, saying,
let us alone that we may serve the Egyptians.
leave us alone in this bondage so that we can serve. We love to serve slavery. Leave us in slavery. We want to get.
For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians.
It was better for us to stay in Egypt
than that we should die
in the wilderness. Can you see that? Here a man is starting to realize that the pain of the bondage was better than the pain of being delivered. This life you are facing today, I'm facing today, Christian, you are doubting your deliverance based on the pain you have. You are doubting your Christianity based on the pain you have. You are doubting your faith based on the pain you have. You start to remember it was better before I received the church, before I received Christ Jesus. Everything was moving smooth. After I'm delivered, after I'm born again, the pain is worse. It was better this pastor to leave me where I was. And some of us will start to go back where we come from. Why? I want to tell you, the moment you are called a free person, when you are a free person, your style is not a style of receiving. It becomes a style of giving. The moment you want that life of Egypt of receiving bread, receiving meat, receiving everything, slavery, you will see the pain of the desert become much, much painful to you, for you. The pain you are passing now is the pain after being delivered. And if you check, they are easy to understand the problem because we don't learn the purpose of God. Israel, they refuse to worship God in the desert. What was refusing worship God? They refused to give the little they have. Patient. It's time to give patient. It was time to give forgiveness. It was time to give all those things. They failed to give those things. Now the things become more painful. Not because it's painful, because you are what we call, your heart is very stubborn. A delivered person, a free person, living more than a slave. When a nation is free and it don't know how to respect the protocol of the freedom, this nation will live as a slave, crying every day and pain every moment. And it is a nation in the freedom. Look, our Africa freedom. We receive the freedom, but we don't know to walk according to the freedom. Every moment we say we are free from Europe. We say we are free from England. We say we are free from American. But every day we want give us, give us, give us. A free nation is not a nation of receiving. Become the nation of giving. We make ourselves in more trouble than before. A free nation, when you are delivered, you become, your nature is a giver. Your mind is a giver. You become a sacrifice. Then you enjoy your deliverance. Our country, our government, they must understand, is a simple game. You can't call yourself a free nation, but depending again on Egyptian. Give us oil, give us this, give us school, give us books, give us technology, give us this. And where is your freedom? You were free. God delivered you for what? What was the purpose of deliverance? Can you see that? Why God deliver me? Why God deliver my country? Why God deliver my land? So that we may supply, we may give out what we were born for. The moment we start supplying the little we have, that journey is the journey for us to become giants. We become giant by supply. American, they are giant not because they got power, because of every country in the world, they are there to supply and welcome everyone. Come. They want to supply to you. They want to give you. By giving you, the hand that give is the hand that rule. Can you understand that? But here I want to give you in the form of you as a believer. The moment you were delivered, the purpose of God is for you to become a giant. How can you achieve that giant nature? You need to deliver your mind. Than this mind we read here. These people, they were delivered, but in the desert, a free nation. Start thinking that in Egypt we were better. It was good for us to die in Egypt than to die here. The moment you start thinking like that, this is your last. You are dying. That's why you see all the Israel, they die there in the wilderness. All the people, majority of people, they come from Egypt, they die in the desert. Those new young people that were born in the desert is the one they carry the journey and they enter the promised land. Why? Because if you never renew your mind, don't think your deliverance is perfect. Deliverance becomes perfect until the renewal of your mind is correspond to the state of the deliverance you have get. Then you become a true born again, a true free person. And how we renew our mind? The way we respond to our actions. Can you see that? So we are, if you say I am delivered, everything you do and everywhere you go, every project you have in your mind, you will see in your mind is to supply people. Your first objective is you to be a supplier. That is the first objective. That is a sign. If you want to know a sign of a deliverer people, somebody can come from Egypt. Let me give you this example. Israel was delivered. God said, I will deliver you from hand of Pharaoh, and you will go in there. So everyone that were in Egypt and in the desert, they were delivered. but yet not produce the fruit of their deliverance. Somebody can preach, is delivered. Somebody can call himself a pastor, is delivered, and yet not produce the fruit of his deliverance. Is it possible? Somebody can be a Christian, call himself a Christian. Yes, he can be delivered, but it is not easy for a person to produce the fruit of his deliverance until the man cultivates the renewal of his mind. As many thinketh, so is he. If you are delivered but you are thinking slavery, you are a slave. If you are delivered, you are thinking poverty, you are poor. If you are delivered, you are thinking sickness, you are sick. Can you see that? A man of God can pray for you, you are healed, you are healed, you are healed. It's up to you. If you still thinking sickness, the same sickness, then after a while, the same thing come back. If your home is delivered today, and in your mind you are not bringing new things, you still have the same thing that was give you trouble in the house. After delivering today, after 3 days, the same story, and it come west. Why? The problem is not it was not delivered. The problem is, did we renew our mind? Your mind must correspond to your nature accordingly to the purpose of God. For God is God of purpose. He creates things and he do things with purpose. For us, for you, and for me. Identify your status before coming surrounding people. The most of the things identify your status. Who are you? Don't just love to commit yourself into people. First things, before you commit yourself, try to identify yourself. Who am I? If really I'm born again, if really I'm delivered, I'm in this company, not for this company to give me salary. I have to impact them somewhere. I have to give them something from me. You can be allowed to work in a company, but that company will start to remember you. There was somebody in this our job, very amazing. Every morning he was giving us this. He was lead us in prayer. He was give us counseling. He was always supporting us in this and this and that. There was somebody in this market who every time we come to sell, he was always with us like this. You must give them something. Identify your status. We were having friends to school, but there was one friend among our friends who was people, they must remember you. That's what we call identify your status. By you to become a giver in your school, in your whatever, you can do something. You can do something which your friend can start to remember you. One day they will look for you. I remember you when we were together to school. This is what you will make me, this is what you are helping me. And when I was seeing your style, when I was seeing your counsel, when I hear you talking, this is what make me remember you. The other people, we don't remember them. We were together, but we already forget them, even their name. Why? They were nothing to supply to others. You have to supply from today. Discover your status. You are surrounding those people for you to supply something to them. And when you put it in your heart and in your mind as a supplier, then this is a journey of your success. This is a journey for you to become a giant in that area. That generation will remember you as a giant in that area. A citizen of a land. You must impact your area by what you can give. The little you have, you can give it to your area, and they will remember in our community there was somebody. There was a young lady. There was a young man. Don't allow your teenager or your youth time. Don't allow, I was talking yesterday to someone, don't allow your young time to expire without impacting something to people around you. Never allow that. Why are you absent mind? If there is a big time and a good time, is the time where you're still young. You can impact your time. There is more opportunity in your young time. The time you become old, you will regret. I was having opportunity to do this, and why I could not do this. And it will be your present pain. You remember now? Remember what I talked in the beginning? It will become your present pain. Failure to discover the purpose of God. You will never come out of the present pain. But if you discover the purpose of God now, this purpose of God, the discovering of the purpose of God will take you out of the present pain. Can you see that? So people of God, take advantage of your young age, your young time. Young age, normally, it's a long period. It's very long. If there is a long period, it's a young age. Let's take it from 25 up to 60. Is already a nice playground of a person. You can from 25 you can impact your nation, your country. Even for 20. Can you see that? You can impact your community, you can impact your nation, you can impact your school, you can impact every area. You can impact it. Don't copy what others they do. In you there is something that you neglect, and we want it. Show it out. Bring it out. Don't say nobody does this, they will laugh at me. That's why you never discover your status. As long as you never reach yet 60, there's still an opportunity for you to recover yourself and to impact your generation. I'm going to very quickly close. We are going to read the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 36. Let's start from verse 26, sorry. Matthew 22, 26.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 26.
Yes.
Likewise.
Listen very carefully. Likewise. Not like stupid. Likewise.
The second also, and the third, even the seventh.
Matthew 36, sorry. Teacher.
Which is the great commandment in the law?
Which is the greatest commandment? You know, when they said there are many commandments, there is the greatest, which will make you the greatest person. When you are moving in this greatest commandment belongs to greatest people. Don't just look to the word greatest commandment. You must know those that carry greatest things, they are greater. So they are asking these people, they are willing to become greater. That's what they are asking the master. Master, show me which one is the greatest commandment, because I want to use it, because I want to become greater in what my area, in my things I'm doing. I want to be greater. What is the greatest commandment? Jesus said to him,
you shall love the Lord your God.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind.
This is the first and great.
It is the first and the great commandment.
And the second is like it.
And the second is the same like it.
You shall love your neighbor as
You shall love your neighbor
yourself.
as yourself. Now, this is where there is a little bit tricky that many of us we don't understand. The Bible is talking about the great commandment is one, is not two, because the Bible said the second one is the same, is one like this one. Amen. You shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. I repeat, you shall. The Bible didn't say they will love you as they love themselves. That is why there's a problem. Most of us, this is what we pretend. When we come surrounding people, you want them to love you as they love themselves. No, God didn't say that. It's not that will bless you. I'm not coming to you so you may love me as you love yourself. I'm not pretending that at all. Because it's not that will make me greater. I cannot come to receive your love. I need to come and give my love. Can you see that? The great commandment, you shall love your neighbors. You. The Bible is talking about you. It's not talking about them. Can you see now there? If you check most of us, this is where we are confused. I want you to pray too much, not me. He's a Christian. Why is talking like that? No, the Bible is talking, he's not talking about them, he's talking about you. I need to concern myself. I'm a Christian. Why am I talking like, not you? If you become mature, you will remove everyone in you. You will become alone. The moment you have that habit of they must do first, everyone come early. Yesterday I come early, no one was not there. Next time I will come late. Why? It's not about them, it's about me. Can you see that? I'm telling you, you are failing to become according to the purpose of God because of your interpretation of people. When you come across people, the Bible says you shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. The Bible did not say they will love you as they love themselves. No. When you come surrounding people, don't put in your mind they must love me as they love themselves. The moment you do like that is a contrary statement, and this will give you more pain. More pain. Is a journey into the bondage, is a journey into slavery. When you come around people expecting them to love you as they love themselves, is not the great commandment, is the opposite of the great commandment. And what is opposite is of the devil. Whatever is opposite of what God say, it become it start fighting God with. So we are fighting God with ourselves by the capacity of our mind. The moment I come surrounding people, my concern is me. The Bible said to me, I must love them, I must love you, I must love you as I love myself. If you don't love me, I don't mind. The Bible didn't say them also they must love you. It said love your neighbor as you love yourself. That is a great commandment. Can you see that? But the problem is, before I love you, I want to see if you love me. Can you where the problem is? I want first to receive your love first. I don't want to give out. I want to receive. And the one who receive is in the bondage already. Can you understand that? So if me I come, I say, I need to love you as I love myself. You also, when you come from home, you are coming with that commandment. I have to love him as I love myself. This one also come from his home. I need to love him. You can see now all of us now what we are acting. We are not acting because of people. You act, we become responsible of our status. And when you become responsible for our status, that is you, the original. That is you, the greatest one, who carry the greatest commandment. Greatest commandment is not carried by less people. The moment you carry the great commandment, even your capacity of understanding start change. Can you see that? So you must understand today is not everybody carry that great commandment. As long as you don't know how to love your neighbor, you want to love them based on something. This is where you will never be greater. Because it's that greater commandment in you will boost you to become also greater. There must be great things in you that will proclaim you greater. You can't be greater if in you there is nothing. Something greater must be in you, which will start push you, because greater shape greatest. Iron shape iron. Can you see that? But when you put lesser things in you, lesser things, I want them, they must love me. Today we see people accusing people. Is accusing you, you are smoking, but him is also smoking. He wants you to stop, but not him. Why are you smoking? Smoking is not nice. But after 2 minutes, he's the one smoking 2 packets. But he wants you to change, not himself. That kind of preaching, that kind of thing is we call it, is abusing of the commandment. I want you to change, I don't want me to change. Which kind of counseling is that? Hey, you are going to church. Hey, you are praying. Why are you insulting people? But you also, you are going to church. Why you don't want to change? I don't want to stop insulting people when I see you stop. No. I have to stop because it's my great commandment. I don't stop insulting people based on people. You must stop it based on you. You are not I am a greatest man. I am a greatest woman. I stop these things not based, everyone can do it, but not me. The moment you put in your mind like that, you are not doing it because people, they are nice. No. We are doing it because you carry the greatest things of God, which is the greatest commandment. You do it because of that. I carry something very greater that he don't have, so I must preserve it and maintain it. You are not doing bad things because of people, they are good. No, you are doing good things because of the greatest commandment you carry. So don't look to people what they respond. They respond good or wrong. That is not your business. Your business, the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. That is it. The Bible doesn't say you will look also if they love also you, and after that, no. They may not love you. Love them. Can you see that? They may not patient with you. Patient them. They may not forgive you. Forgive them. This is what the Bible is talking here. They may not be early, you be early. They may not be the first, be the first. Such kind of life is a life of winners. I'm telling you. Is a life, God will give you small exercise at home where everybody don't want to wash plate. And you also, why they don't wash plate? Me also don't wash. You think you are doing it good. Small exercise, small as it is. We are sharing room 7 people. No one want to sweep that small papers there. Why? Hey, they don't want to do it. Me also don't want to do it. They don't want to do. You will hear in your heart, the heart is say, sweep that paper. Oh, them they are passing there. Me, I don't want. Me also, I will not do it. To whom are you stubborn? Not to them. To the voice, the inner voice, to God. Small exercise. I'm not sweeping because you sweep yesterday. I'm sweeping because I carry the great commandment to supply, to help people. When I'm surrounding people, when they are complaining about something, it becomes my advantage to supply. Opportunity. What they are complaining for, do it. If you want to become greater, check what people are complaining. It's very easy. They are complaining because they don't want to do it. Then you start do it. The more you go to do it, the more you start become greater spiritually, even physically, against them. You start to rule them. You start to monitor them. They start to need you. Even if you are far, they want to wait for you. Only him, he must come. But the problem of us, we are not consulting God's purpose for our present pain. Our present pain can move out only when we consult God's purpose. God's purpose comes to interpret the language of the pain. When he interprets the language of the pain, this allows you to find the wisdom how to come out of the pain. Pain has a language. Pain speaks. But the one interprets pain, the purpose of God. You discover the purpose of God in the present pain. The purpose of God will interpret the language of the pain. And the purpose of God is what? Is you. God will give what is the purpose? God is God of purpose. He creates me with purpose, for purpose. He creates you with purpose, for purpose. And that purpose, when he whispers you, the purpose will interpret why you are here today. Is a power that interprets present time. The purpose of God for me. It's another way we call it my journey. My journey. If you discover the purpose of God, you discover your journey. And when you discover your journey, you will know any stations that appear in the journey.